finest innovations from Zurich. It removes all pain.
Guys like me, we have to turn to booze, the morphine, and that can lead to addiction. Oh, that's fast. That is advanced.
Seeing you two together, Christian, reminds me of when you won the Golden Globe for The Fighter. You went up to the stage, you got your award, and you mentioned Robert De Niro at the end of your speech. Oh. And the music cut out. And the music cut out. I never got to hear what you said about Robert. And so seeing you both together, I wanted to first ask you, when did you both first really meet, not just in passing? And what do you appreciate the most when watching the other act?
I think I was very surprised to be up there. I was very delighted. I was having a lot of fun, and I saw Bob's face in the crowd, and I gave a few very complimentary expletives about just how good I thought and think he is. You know, so what an honor and real pleasure, and so damn satisfying to get to work with Bob.
It's amazing. What do you appreciate the most when watching Robert act, or Bob?
Don't put him in that position.
I'm happy to be put in that position. You know, he's one of the finest that there has ever been. You know, he's a bedrock of cinema. I was actually sitting and thinking of the films that I've loved and watched, and I don't watch that many films, and neither does Bob, actually. You know, David is always frustrated with me, and he said it's the same with Bob, that we're constantly going, oh, no, we didn't see that, we didn't see that. But I've seen this man's films, and they're absolutely phenomenal. And what an honor to get to work with him and just be sitting there next to him. But equally, we like rolling our sleeves up. Bob loves the way that David works. I love it too. So it was a wonderful partnership.
I love that. What about you, Robert?
Yeah, no, Christian said it. It was. It's always great to work with David. And for us to work together was, for me, great. I wish we had been able to do more. And, you know, David's just a very special person, a special director, and you know whatever he's going to do, it's going to be special and noteworthy, remembered, and that to me is very, very important. It's not just a movie that'll come and go. It'll earn some place in film history, if you will. Deservedly so.
Yes, absolutely. Is this the first time you guys really met, not just in passing, was working on this film, or had you guys met before?
I mean, you know, a little bit. We had a day together on American Hustle, but, you know, I was Irv, and, you know, and we just had a day, and I was kind of sitting silently through most of that scene. So this is the most that we've gotten to do. But as Bob said, I hope we get to do more.
Yeah, I hope so too. Fantastic together. Christian, you played some stellar villains, anti-heroes, Gore the God Butcher, Batman, American Psycho, and your character in this movie, Bert, is so earnest and wholesome. And I was wondering if that's ironically more challenging to play.
You know, I mean, I do happen to think the villains always get attention more easily than the good guys. You know, everyone is always fascinated with a bad guy. But what I love so much about Bert is he's so very easily, through his experiences in life and his painful life and just how tough it is and the injuries that he's received mentally and physically as well, he could have turned you know, to the other side. He could have become full of hatred and anger, but he refuses that. He refuses to go numb. He refuses to be a puppet to these bad people, puppet masters, and he maintains optimism and love and joy throughout his life. And I think he's incredibly inspiring, and he's someone who I would want to be a friend with.
Yeah, it was fun watching you, like, in that earnestness and quirkiness. Robert, I wanted to ask you about a relationship you've had for a very long time with New York City. You were born in Manhattan. One of the first films you were ever in was called 3 Rooms in Manhattan. And a lot of this film takes place in 1930s New York. Do you enjoy films more when they take place in the city? Is there familiarity there that makes it feel warm to you?
Well, just for practical reasons, I like to shoot in New York, but but there's always to do a good film that takes place in New York. Of course, that's the most important thing. I would prefer having if I'm lucky, a really terrific script. If I'm really lucky, a great script to be shot in New York. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, there's just something that feels so right about seeing you in a New York movie. And speaking of love, I also love the question that this film poses when it comes to things we love. Is it something that we choose, or is it something that we need? I wanted to know, when it comes to acting, Robert, do you feel like it's something you chose, or do you feel like it's something you need?
That's interesting. It's a combination of both, and whatever else too. I mean, you need it if it's what you want, what you need. I don't know. I'm answering that question as best I can, but it sort of fits in need, want, destiny, if you will, certain projects. Say with David, in this particular case, this movie, he would talk to me about the script and this, and that's sort of part of his process. And I, just I'd listen because I knew that's how it is. Even when I'm committed to something, it's just that's his way of like even finding things in that moment. And that's my interpretation of it, at least. So that's all good. So it's a thing where you kind of, at the end of the day, you're going to wind up there. Not quite sure how and when yet, but you're figuring it all out. And that's how it works with him. So
yeah,
that's,
you're so along for the ride. I love that. Christian, do you feel like it's something you chose or something you need?
I think that every kid needs and wants to play dress up, right? I mean, I do believe the best actors are animals and children. And I look to them, as so much inspiration because they don't give a damn about the effect or the consequences. They're just in the moment living it. So I think everybody does that. I then found myself in a situation where it became a need because my dad got ill and I became the breadwinner at a very young age. So I started acting professionally actually because I needed to, and I actually didn't want to. I wanted to rebel against it. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I knew that, man, I had to. And then fortunately enough, you keep doing it long enough, of course, you got to pay the bills. This is how we make our livings, And so there is need there. But you're fortunate enough to keep doing it long enough that right now, absolutely, it's a choice. Right now, at this point, things may change in the future, but at this point, I don't need to do it, but I choose to do it because I want to do it, because I love doing it. Yeah.
Really quick, you both chose to be in films where you're with this character, the Joker. And I was wondering, has that character ever come up in your dreams or nightmares for either of you?
No.
I have to say, look, I miss Heath dearly, and yeah, he'll crop up, but it's Heath. It's Heath, not the Joker.
Tax the rich. We find ourselves in a situation where we're accused of killing someone, which is not true.
You and Woodman fled the scene. The killer pointed at us.
We didn't do anything. Why would you possibly think that was us?
Well, there's not too many people that fit the description of a doctor looking for his eye on the ground with his black attorney. Columbia Law School.
The movie's called Amsterdam, and I love that the city of Amsterdam in this film represents another life for the characters. It's this form of escapism, kind of how we all feel on vacation. And I wanted to ask all of you, where in the world do you feel like that? And what is your Amsterdam? And we'll start with you, Margot.
I just had a very funny vacation with Rami, actually. But we won't get into that.
Please do.
Wait, we must know
The people
now.
must know. Yeah.
Which one?
Set us up.
We've actually
we've
gone on quite a lot of vacation adventures since filming this movie.
I didn't think you were going to talk about this, but go on.
The people must know.
Yeah.
We've done New
Let's
Orleans.
not talk about the movie. Let's talk about our private
our
life.
adventures.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to get into any of
go
that.
ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
No.
Tell them the whole story.
I'm not telling them the whole story. I'll tell you guys after. All right. But for me, my Amsterdam, I had a very similar sort of thing. I moved to London on a whim, and my two best friends, Josie and Tom, we kind of actually, do you know what's so weird? The three of us met in Belgium, where Bert, Harold, and Valerie met. I met my two best friends there. I ended up marrying one of them, much like Harold and Valerie fell in love, and they're still like my best friends. And then this time in London was my bubble, like my Amsterdam.
I love that answer. Thanks, Margot. What about you, Rami? Maybe you'll tell us about the vacation.
We had a good summer. That was kind of in Amsterdam. You want to go? Let's go.
We've had two good summers.
We had two good summers.
In the winter.
That was fun. We didn't get to have a rap party because of COVID, but the three of us ended up having...
And Chris.
And Chris.
Yeah.
So us and Chris had a mini rap party.
Yeah. We're going off track here, but
We're not going to go into
a lot of feelings that night.
okay, here we go. Our Amsterdam.
Margot, I've never seen you laugh this hard in interview.
Yes. Really? This is good.
so much.
You're about to go viral, young lady.
We are changing.
I remember finishing a job where I guess I was trying to go method, and I didn't know that it it took a toll on me. And I thought for a second, I don't want to act anymore. And I just, I felt like an expat because I took a trip to Argentina and lived in Buenos Aires for a long time and thought I might never leave that place. And I had just an extraordinary time where I felt free and alive and awake. And that was my Amsterdam. What was yours?
What was your Amsterdam? You got Amsterdam?
Perhaps Egypt. I met Kareem, my other half. Thanks. I met my other half in Egypt. It was quite funny. It all seemed very romantic. I'd just come from Senegal. He's partly Senegalese. It all seemed to make sense. We were making a love story together. We're still together now since we made the film. It was called Luxor. And there was a moment where we were just looking out on the Nile, watching things float by, including like a dead cow. And I said to him, "Where do you live?" And he said, "Larchmont." And that kind of burst the bubble.
Like,
you know, it's a place in LA.
Los Angeles,
like
Larchmont. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sound ignorant, but
Same, I was like,
just
next
about
to the studio?
3 minutes. Yeah, just about where we shot the film.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that Larchmont.
He lives just where we shot the film, about 3 minutes from my house. Okay. And so it seemed like perhaps less adventurous than at first it had seemed. But Egypt will, for its timelessness and its it's like impenetrable magic. So it'll always be a place where I'm lost in a way I feel most comfortable.
That's good. John?
Well, I can't top that, but I recently did about 6 months in Thailand, Chiang Mai. I was in Bangkok, and I pride myself on being very respectful and humble, but you can't out-respect or humble these people. It was an incredible exhibition of consistent humility and graciousness and really a passion for life that I've never seen. I really truly understood peace working there, and that whole process changed my life. I'll get into it closer to the release, but that trip really changed my life. Chiang Mai in particular, I was talking to this 85-year-old elephant. And just this elephant just seemed to understand all my problems. It was like my therapist. It was I just saw this elephant nature park, and just the people and the curry, fantastic.
I feel like my time in Thailand was very different.
Oh no! Really?
Was it lots of fun, Margot?
Buckets and
Oh no!
You didn't drink out of the buckets?
Nah, not in my experience. No.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Well, it was beautiful to hear all those answers because it really is cool how different places in the world can make you guys all feel those different things.
What's your
John
Amsterdam?
David,
Yeah, what's your Amsterdam?
I love that. Thanks for asking. I think for me, Africa, Kenya. I was volunteering in the Masai Mara last December, and elephants are so emotional and just seeing like the earth untouched. I was like, why do I work in a room on a computer? But anyways, John David, I wanted to ask you before I have to wrap up real quick. I know you have this incredible scene in this film with Christian Bale where you're singing and he was in Newsies and you're with Taylor Swift. Who's Taylor Swift? What was shooting that scene like? I know your mother was on Broadway, and how do you feel you stacked up?
I hope I didn't let the family down, because she can sing for real. My sister could sing, and she's a pianist. So no, I felt comfortable. Like I've been saying it all day. Like there were no egos on this set. And Taylor Swift she was so cool and just acquiescent to the process, and just was able to flow and gave me confidence because she was so nice and accommodating. So there was no wrong choices, even if there was wrong notes and tone. So I felt good about what I was doing, and fix it. They say fix it in edit, fix it in post. So. Auto-tune.
Sweeten it, baby, sweeten it.
These are dangerous times.
You be careful.
I'm about to do something that could cost me my life.
The cuckoo is in the nest, and the cuckoo's about to be trapped.
Cuckoo.
Hello, Mike and Michael.
Hi.
Hi, Naz.
How many times did someone refer to one of you on set and the other thought they were talking about?
Well, they kept us separated so that wouldn't happen. He'd be on one side of the room and I'd be on the other.
Because you can imagine how horrific that would be.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a nightmare scenario.
That is, doomsday scenario. Really.
Yeah.
Really, I would refer to it as a dreamlike scenario because seeing the
Yes.
both of you on screen made me LOL so
Oh,
much.
cool.
I can't believe you just said
Yeah, I
the
never
women.
thought in my wildest dreams, if you had told me like 20 years ago, you're going to get to be like in a duo with Mike Myers, I would have just guffawed. I didn't even think that would be remotely possible. It's like,
Just the ultimate international man of mystery.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love it. You guys are both clearly so funny together in this movie, and it must be nice to have a great script and be able to elevate it. Were the both of you riffing at all? Because it feels that way when you're watching it. You know, was any of it improvised?
Oh yeah, we had some. We had a hall pass there to explore. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, David encourages it because I think like David, he writes the script and he's super serious about it, and then at the last minute he's like, you know what? Forget that. Let's see what else is going on. You know?
Well, it's scenarios. You can't improvise some things. You can't improvise a set. You can't improvise a special effect. You know, you can't improvise 12 swans fly in. You know, so a lot of stuff is in the script. How it's actually phrased, he's always, if it fits in your mouth better, and if it seems to, he's looking for organic. He sort of wants to almost it be a staged documentary is kind of his feel.
Did you guys end up shooting anything that ended up on the cutting room floor, you know, that we didn't see?
I never saw the cutting room floor. I don't know what ended up there. I hope they sweep.
Yeah.
You know, there could be little bugs or something. I don't know. I don't think there's. To be frank, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I have no idea.
I never remember. I get cutnesia.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? I also get virginitis. I never remember.
Yeah.
Because I write a lot of my own stuff, so
Right.
I'll always go, do you remember that part? And my wife Kelly goes, that wasn't in the movie. Didn't make the final cut. I go, oh, okay.
It's funny, Mike, when you were saying, you know, a lot of it's already in the film and the scenario, because to me, I don't know why, but bird watching is just comedic. Like even the words bird watching is funny to me. I don't know why I can't pinpoint it. If this film was a bird, what bird do you think it would be, Mike?
An American eagle.
There you go.
Why?
Because in the end, democracy triumphs. They were an endangered species, but the only reason the American eagle is back is because it meant something to people and it needed to be protected. So I think it is the American eagle. Democracy is a very fragile experiment. And in the world of history, democracy is like right there, and this is present time, you know what I mean? And it's a very thin membrane democracy. And it needs to be protected, you know, like a Fabergé egg.
That was such a beautiful, well thought out answer. I love that. Michael, Shannon, what was it like working with Robert De Niro? Actually, for the both of you, but we'll start with you, Michael.
Well, I was about the bird question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What bird?
Well, I would say it's an American eagle, but it's directed by a hummingbird.
Yes.
Yes, because that's the energy of David. It's just like and like poking getting the stuff out of the flower and you know. Anyway, that's my answer to that question. Working with De Niro was, I mean, I was in a state of shock, really. I mean, the guy is one of my all-time heroes of acting. I remember, you know, seeing all his films back when I was a teenager, you know, Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, and King of Comedy is actually one of my favorite movies. So yeah, to be there in front of him was pretty extraordinary. And he's also really nice. He gave us all an orchid. I walked in my dressing room one day and there was an orchid on the counter and a little card that said, you know,
Handwritten.
Yeah, handwritten card. Welcome to the show. Looking forward to working with you, Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw that out. No, just kidding. I still have it. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Mike, you've done some incredible impersonations and accents over the course of your career. I was actually wondering, do you have a Robert De Niro impersonation?
Silent. This is it. That's it.
That's it.
It's not good. Yeah. And we'll obviously cut that out.
Yeah, don't
was
turn this
terrible.
into another
That-
Tom Hiddleston on Graham Norton.
That was terrible, by the way. Thank you.
That was so funny. That was great. You guys.
No, I
are
looked like a Muppet. Forget it. It looked like it could have been that or...
It was the Muppet version of Robert De Niro.
Yes, that's
when
what I
Robert
do.
De Niro was
I
on
only
the
do
Muppets.
Muppet impressions.
Yeah, yeah.